Today we are going into a story time where I get to tell you my testimony. Remember, I am doing this, how to be debt-free journey and paying off, my debts and being, debt-free. So I did mention some time ago that I'm gonna share my testimonial on my journey with debt. So before I proceed, I want to encourage you to subscribe and follow my channel on YouTube. So today's topic is actually a story time of my car got repossessed. So for those who know me, I have been driving this red Audi, it's an Audi car that I bought while I was in government. I had a stable job. I was still not in private. I was still not having a business. So I bought that car, and when I bought the car, I didn't worry about, looking at the fine lines, the papers, the contract, because I knew money is coming in. So because I knew money is coming in, I didn't worry myself. Anything that I basically wanted, I could get. That's how my life was. Until I resigned, started my own business. When I started my own business, I had ups. And I remember the first 3 months when I started my business, I actually almost lost the house, lost the car because the business wasn't doing very well. But the last 3 months of that year, which is 2015, I actually recovered and we were able to save, the house, we were able to save the car. So towards last year, last year 2020 was a very hard year for me. I used to have a job in the private sector, but for some reasons I left the job. So my income was drastically affected. The things that we were used to, we could not afford anymore, most of those things. And also I always say it's a blessing, because should I have not lost that job, I don't think I would be where I am, especially in my journey with money, because I knew I still didn't learn that lesson, because I'm like, as long as I'm in business is good. Anything I want, I can get. But little did I know that God is also teaching me a good lesson on how to be debt-free, how to be content with what I have, how to manage the small resources that He has given me. So because of that, I had to, I remember we had a contract with the car, and the car's contract was supposed to be finished last year in November. But because of the COVID also, business went down. I could not afford to finish that contract. I remember it was 2 months before finishing the contract, I started defaulting on the payment, and then they kept on calling me, but I kept on avoiding the phone calls, which is a mistake. And then eventually when they got hold of me, it was in February. So I went already 4 months without paying my bills. So that money went up. So when they contacted me, the bank contacted me because it was still a bank-owned car, which is also a problem. So, the credit, when you buy that house, when you buy that car, it's not yours. You are basically paying, but if you don't finish that installment of that car, unfortunately, that car will be repossessed. So my car, because of, I thought always it's mine, and until that reality hit, then that's when I started to go into the contract, and I'm like, but I was supposed to be done. I'm only left with those 2 months. Let me pay it off and then I'm finished. Only to discover that on that contract, I had taken the car that had a balloon payment. So balloon payment, especially in South Africa, is whereby you make an agreement that, you're gonna pay the car to, let's say, 5 years, After 5 years, there's another money they put on top that you need to pay. So your installment during, let's say, that 5-year period can be, let's say, 500, and it's cheaper for you. But because they are cutting this other money, when the contract is finished, unfortunately, you need to pay that money back, that balloon payment of the lower rate. I don't know if I'm making sense. The lower rates they were giving you. So that's what happened to me. I discovered that I actually owe the bank 130 South African rand, and this money was because of the balloon payment. And when they called me, they said they're gonna give me 1 month. So it's 130 plus the 20,000 that I had defaulted on payment. Together the money came to a balance of 150,000 South African rand. US, I think it's between 12 to 15,000 US dollar. And I'm sitting, the business is basically not doing very well. And I know I'm not gonna get that money anywhere. And I remember I was crushed, but I remember saying, you know what, let your will be done, God. Not my will, but your will. As much as I want this to materialize for me, I want to hold on to this material thing. It's just a material thing. There's things that are more important than a car, than a house. I say there are people who are fighting for their lives and they're in ICU. I still have life. I can still make money. I can still be able to buy another car. So I have to just be grateful and content with what God has given me, even though it means I have to give back this car. And I remember they came in March. So if I can show you, that is the exact date I signed in order to give the car back to the bank. It was very painful. It's still very painful. I don't want to cry about it because I know, sometimes things like this happen to reveal, your strength. And I remember they came to my business, my medical practice, to come and fetch the car. And I wanted to cry. I couldn't cry. I wanted to run away. I couldn't run away. And my receptionist was crying. Everything was just chaos. But I had this, for the first time, I had this peace that I cannot describe to you, but I had this unspeakable peace. And I just said, Lord, let your will be done. That car was removed. They took it. And then I just smiled. I came home, wanted to cry. I couldn't cry until I think I got a moment alone. I said, God, I don't know what you are putting me through, but I'm gonna be open to the journey that you are putting me in. And I remember that date I just showed is the date I started to say, you know what? This is the end of this humiliation. This is the end of me being a slave to debt. This is the end of me, trying to fake it and make it like, I'm doing very well while I'm actually not doing very well. And I said, God, let your will be done. I'm going to start this journey. And even if it will expose who I am and it will show my weaknesses, I know through my weaknesses, you will reveal my strength. So I'm going to go ahead and share this journey on how I overcame this big thing that was standing in my way. So basically, that week was a very downhill for me. And I remember the same week, my husband had traveled, took the other car. Then I was left, there was another car we were having. and the car literally broke down. I think that was the lowest of the lowest that I had in that month. And it was the same week. I think the car was taken on Monday. The car broke down on Friday. I could not take my kids to school with a car. For the first time, my kids had to walk to school. I had to walk to work. And I felt crushed. And I didn't know what to do. And I'm trying to hold my tears because this has been a very painful journey. But good things come out very painful, situations. So I remember even before I went through this stage, I had a patient that came in my surgery, and they basically literally told me they had lost, the husband lost the job, he lost the car, and I kept on encouraging this woman and saying, it's not the end of you, it's not the end of you, God will make a way. And true to the words, she came early this year and said, you know what, God bless them. The husband got a new job, he got a new car, and they even, because they were just traditionally married, they even went to the point whereby they went and signed the magistrate register for their marriage. So things were turning out okay. So I said, God, if you can do this to someone I have counseled, and you've exposed me to this before my own challenge comes, I know there's something big that you are also going to do in my life. So I say, you know what, God, everything that I am, if it's not from you, if it's not, to try to teach me something, I gladly give it back to you. Be it the house, be it the car, be it my business, because it's not mine. And this is to say, we are so ambitious, trying to fight for this life, trying to fight for the high class life, trying to fight, and we fake it, we put this life out there we're doing so very well, while we are actually not doing so very well. So that's why I today came in to encourage you, because sometimes you look at someone like me and you're like, she's a doctor, her life is perfect, everything is perfect. I've gone through a lot of mountains that sometimes I don't put everything out there, but I've gone through a lot of life challenging challenges that have crushed my soul, have crushed me. But I still had to stand up and say, you know what, I have to be strong. I have to be strong, not only for my family, not only for my kids, but also for my patients, for my community. If God has given me this thing, it means He will give me the strength to overcome it. So today, I just want to come in. If you have lost your material possessions, let's say your car, your house, or money, those things are temporary. I want to encourage you to just say, you know what, look on the other side. Sometimes we don't see the beauty in life because we just want these material things that will prove that, you are successful, you are happy. But happiness is more than just material things. You can have all the money in the world, but you are still not happy. Happiness is something that I've learned over these past few months with the lack, with not having enough, with, the simplicity of life. I have learned, in my lows, in my ups, in my downs, God, I'm going to praise you. Whatever phase in my life I'm going through, I will not forget who God is. And I remember this because I was even thinking the story of Lot. Lot, is it Lot? Not Lot. I just forgot the name. But there's a man in the Bible, he lost everything. The name just, it just ran away. He lost everything. He lost everything. And there were people who, including his wife, were telling him, curse God and die. And I say, and he didn't. to the point whereby God ended blessing him, 2 times, 3 times more than what he had before. So there's a blessing in that challenge that you are going through now. Yes, you might not see the blessing. Yes, you might not see the light at the end of the tunnel. But God is, taking you through another phase. Yes, people around you can laugh at you. People can say all these things about you. How your life is no more as good as it used to be. How you are suffering. How you are struggling. But my dear, I'm just coming in today to encourage you that if I can go through this mess and still be able to rise up, still be able to come and motivate you and encourage you. And I remember like that day when they came, I still had to go inside me. I felt like I'm going to cry. And there's a patient waiting to be seen by me. And I had to go back into the consulting room, still smiling. That's the power of the strength that God has given us. And I want to encourage you, no matter what you have lost, those things, you can always get them back. You can always get them back. But don't forget, the challenges that you are going through. It's just God giving you that thing that is in you that you never knew you had that strength in you. That thing that, like I even say, we go through these issues so that God can, tell you, you trust nobody except the men above. The men above. Don't trust in the cars. Don't trust in the house. Don't trust in your business. Trust in the men above. Because the men above will be able to open doors that no man can shut. The men above will be able to open, doors of financial overflow that no man can shut. So I hope this testimony of mine encourages you, because I have gone through it. I have decided to let go. Even when it was tough, yes, I did let go. I cried. I was sad. I was depressed. But today I can come in with a smile and encourage you that no matter what you are going through, it's not the end of you. Until God decides it's over, that's when you stop fighting. But if He gives you a day, you wake up, you say, God, what is it that you want me to do today? How is it that you want my life, to be a testimony to others? And you will be able to, use those setbacks in order to encourage and motivate and encourage other people who are going through similar situations or even worse. So this is my story. My car got repossessed. I know people have been asking what has happened. The car went away. But God is so faithful. God is so true. Continue to follow my journey on YouTube as I give you part 2 of this story time of my car got repossessed, because there's still more to this testimony that I'm going to share with you in the next video. Thank you so much for the love I continue to receive. Dr. NAMBI coming in to encourage you, to motivate you that it's not over until God says it's over. See you next time. See you next